So yes, the Space Marine 2 dev team currently is hard at work on the October update, and we've got some new responses from the dev team about what is happening around hotfixes and the new content. Plus, I really want to clear the air as to what you can actually expect this October. There's a lot of hype around the October update, and I don't want you guys to expect absolutely everything to be dropping all at once. And we got to talk about how they kind of butchered Titus here. We'll dive into that in just a moment. Plus, we're going to talk about some new comments about how compromises were made to the single-player portion of Space Marine 2 because of, guess what? Co-op. This is definitely an interesting read, and I got some questions for you guys when it comes to like upcoming potential story-related DLC. And yes, we're going to go over your top comments. But clearly right now, it's a very busy time for the Space Marine 2 dev team. As you can see, they are currently testing a lot of stuff. Only 2 hours ago, they did a recent back-end test. And you can also see here, a few days ago, they did a test for that brand new 4K texture pack coming to PC. So tests are currently being done on the upcoming patches and hot fixes. But what was officially said about this? So out on Discord, it was asked, do you have a date for the patch? Here's the response: later this month. However, there was also an additional response here that said like in a week or less. And this was posted on October 4th, which was last week. So that would mean that, hey, you would expect something to drop this week. So what we do know officially from their blog post is that we would be getting upcoming content and a hotfix as well. So it might be that we could be seeing a hotfix release for quality assurance type stuff, server stability, that sort of thing, and then they release the major patch with the brand new content. And we got to talk about keeping your expectations in check about how much content is actually dropping in October. Of course, we have this right here, and a lot of people are assuming that everything will be dropping all at once. However, what has been officially confirmed is we will be getting a brand new operation map in October. Now, when it comes to things like lethal difficulty, the Neo Volkite pistol, and the new enemy type that has not been confirmed yet for October, I myself think they will want to drip feed some of this content all the way through 2024 until 2025, which would be, of course, the start of Season 3. So I would expect we would get that new operation this month, and then perhaps they would want to roll out the new difficulty next month, and the new weapon, and so on and so forth, and then give us that new enemy type as well, trickled throughout. So yeah, I don't think it will be dropping all at once, or I think they would have mentioned it in the blog post, which again, the only truly confirmed thing in that blog post for October is the new map for operations mode. But when it comes to things like the 4K texture pack, and of course the new colors for lenses, I would most likely expect that sort of thing to be arriving here in October. Plus, we have seen evidence again from SteamDB that they are doing some test runs on the 4K texture pack. And you got to remember, yes, we're going to be getting new cosmetics through the season pass. That is going to be dedicated to the Dark Angels in Season 2. So that's anywhere from October to the end of the year that this would be rolling out and releasing. They could release it all at once, or they could, again, drip feed this, starting out with like the Champion pack this October, then releasing the cosmetic pack in November, and finally like a weapon skin pack in December. We'll see how they handle this if they drop it all at once, but yeah, let me know how you guys would actually like for them to handle that. I do want to say, with anything that is under development, there could be delays as well. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but you never know, that could happen. So I'll keep you guys in the know if there's any delays when it comes to this sort of content. Now, we also have some additional updates, some fixes that they have talked about as well that you guys might want to know about. Yeah, it says regarding the black screen issue occurring on Oceania servers, they say they're aware of this and they're going to be offering up a fix here very soon. And then for Linux Steam Deck issues, the next patch will be fixing launch issues on both those platforms as well. So yeah, that's good to know. Now, let me know, are any of you guys playing the game actually on Steam Deck? I'm kind of curious. I definitely do want to eventually get a Steam Deck down the road. Now, we also got to talk about how they butchered my boy Titus. What did they do? So it's a comparison of McFarlane and Joy Toy Titus figures, and you can clearly see something went very wrong here with Titus with the McFarlane figure. And we got to zoom in on his face. It looks really cool with his helmet on, but dear God, what happened? He actually has ended up looking like a butch lesbian or something like that. But yeah, that definitely does not resemble the in-game character, at least in my mind. And then, yeah, one of the comments is like, okay, the helmet stays on. Yeah, most definitely keep that helmet on. I don't know what happened there. I'm not too sure how that one was approved, but people were not happy about how that turned out. And someone else pointed out an extra comparison. Look at the Weta Workshop version right here. It looks so much better. It says the Weta Workshop one is the in-game. Too bad I'd have to refinance a mortgage to pick one up. Yeah, it's a shame that it turned out that way. I'm not too sure how they would go through the pipeline and not have one person say, hey, this just don't look right at all. So yeah, it's a bummer it turned out that way. Now, we also got to talk about, yes, compromises were made to Space Marine 2's single player because of co-op. And it was in this article right here that we found some interesting comments from the developer. So let's check it out, shall we? So speaking to Games Radar, Hollislack explained that the development team could have done way more if supporting characters Gadriel and Carrion weren't glued to the main man Titus for the whole campaign's runtime. We would have more control over them going off and doing their own thing and like even becoming a source of conflict during the mission. Furthermore, they go on to say this, one of the levels where we tried to do that is where Carrion goes rogue on his own and gets separated from the rest of the squad. That was a badass moment, by the way. And that was us really trying to stretch that out. So it felt like they were divided for a time. But yeah, the closest we could get for Gadriel and Titus to almost kill each other in a cinematic, and then we've got to go back into battle again as three-man team. So yeah, the co-op thing makes that tough. I remember arguing with Hollislack a lot, saying that there's not enough time for our characters to talk about the plot, to argue with each other, because there's stuff exploding in the background. Game director Dmitry Gangarenko joked, nobody's going to listen to that. We have to be short. So it brings up an interesting topic because they have pointed out that yes, they are very interested in expanding the story, perhaps through like an expansion or DLC down the road. Now, nothing has been 100% confirmed in that regard, but I asked you guys the question, would you like to see the return of 3-player co-op, or do you think they should go with something that is more wholeheartedly single player so they can open up some ideas that they had on the table but we kind of missed out on, it seems. So I find it very interesting, that sort of discussion. I saw a lot of comments under Reddit saying, I do wish they had kept it single player. There was no need for, you know, co-op in the single player story. Then again, it is a lot of fun to be able to experience the campaign and that sort of thing with 2 other players. So yeah, it's a tough one for sure, but definitely leave your comments down below what you would like to see in a potential DLC, the return of 3-player co-op, or you think, hey, let's try something 100% single player this time. All right, so now it's time to go over your top comments. Remember, leave a comment down below. It could end up right here in a future video. So let's do this. All right, so here we go. My random complaint, for fuck's sake, if I've joined and have a duplicate class, give me a minute to change it instead of immediately resorting to kick. That gets annoying real damn fast. Yeah, there's so many annoyances behind that, by the way, and I did highlight in my previous video how I like to play primarily as tactical, and it's becoming more and more difficult to do that. And I do wish, again, that they had some sort of subclasses or something like that. And next up we have, if you all run as Melta Lost Fusel, you get no reason to complain about the difficulty of the game. Yeah, exactly. It says there is no sweet spot for all players. At some point, people have to accept not every player will be able to complete every difficulty, and that's okay. Yeah, again, I just don't think the difficulty thing is that big of an issue currently, because we're going to be getting that new difficulty and then like the horde mode later down the road. So yeah, I'm not like too concerned about it. Now, the dev team did say, hey, we're looking at the feedback, we're paying attention here, and I think they're going to wait it out. Honestly, I think they'll wait out until the new difficulty arrives and then potentially make adjustments. Yeah. All right, next up we have this one right here. For the Emperor or Vulcan, into the fires of battle, unto the anvil of war. And plus, I would like more armor customization so I can really look like a real salamander. I've heard that many, many times. A lot of you guys want to be salamander. So, it says this. I got 93 hours in this game, and I think Jack Lee is just complaining to complain. This is my opinion. With 150 hours, you should be able to play on the hardest difficulty, blindfolded, because you know the mechanics, and it's muscle memory at that point. I think balancing for PvE content is stupid anyways, but hey, what do I know? I'm just a random. So yeah, and a lot of people also said this isn't like a Souls game. It isn't Elden Ring. And I feel like there are some players coming from those games that are expecting that level of absolute crazy difficulty. Some of you may say, hey, those games aren't even that tough, but some people really do consider those games very, very difficult. This is definitely not that sort of game. So yeah, but maybe they should have like the most craziest difficulty added in there down the road. Is that something you guys would like to see? Now, also, we have this one right here. I'm sorry, 150 hours in the game and playing with the squad is not the norm. They aren't going to alienate the majority of the player base to make Sweats happy. Yeah, most of you guys I know for a fact probably work, probably studying, that sort of thing, and then you hop on with your friends. Not to say that's like always super casual with everyone that plays this game, but I also know that a lot of you guys probably aren't at the even like 150 hour mark. Let me know, by the way, how many hours do you actually have in the game? All right, so there it is. The latest happenings around Space Marine 2. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned here for more. I have you guys covered, and I will see you all next time. Take care.